When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes is the answer. Now, here is the host of The Long Bearded Guy, the Chief Catalyst, Strategist Guide at Jewel International, Gordon D. Melville.
Hey everybody, welcome to Friday. Welcome to The Long Bearded Guy with Gordon D. Melville on Inspired Choices Network. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Red Fridays. It's Red Friday, every Friday, my red vest. Red, R-E-D, remember everyone deployed. So we don't want to forget our people standing on the wall for us. Thank you to them for that. We are going to talk today about something that just keeps coming up. We were just talking to the producer about this. It just keeps coming up this week. We're going to talk about mental awarenesses for everyone without exception is the name of the topic today, is the name of the session today, this episode. Mental awarenesses for everyone without exception. It's not an exclusive thing. It's not them and me. It's all of us. It's inclusive, all of us in the same space. So I deeply appreciate you being here. I want to remind you, by the way, if you don't have your journal and your pen or something to write with in handy, you're going to want that today. There's a bunch of stuff I want you to write down. There's some things you're going to want to remember. So make sure you get your journal. You got a few minutes. Let's get after it. As you know, I'm on a mission to change the lives of 10 million men by raising their EQ, by raising their emotional quotient, because everything gets better. Relationships get better. They become a better human. They become a better husband and father and dad and employer and employee, and everything gets better because they've got some emotional quotient. It's not intelligence. I'll talk about that in a different episode, but it's emotional quotient for sure. And so, people ask, IQ or EQ most important? And both are important. Both are very important. You need to have IQ. But a lot of times we've always heard, and I've heard my whole life, people don't care what you know till they know how much you care. And so that's EQ. That's understanding how to be able to get that across. And so that's my mission, by the way, right? 10 million men changing their lives. Can you help me? Will you help me? I want to put that out there. I'm looking for people to help me get that message out. I'm looking for people to help me save men's lives. I'm looking for people to help me get that want to save people, that want to have entrepreneurial men and pro athletes. That's my avatars, and those are the people. That's where my heart is. That's the people I'm trying to help and want to save. I want to save everybody, but all men. But if you dig it down, an entrepreneurial man, because that's what I am, an entrepreneurial man. So if you're listening today and someone's asked you to listen, or they've referred you to this, please reach out. Let me know where you're listening from. Let me know where you're hearing me and that you're here. And I want to know. I need that engagement. I want to know. Hey, you know what? We're impacting. We're making an engagement with as many people as we can. If you're a guy that is struggling today, or you need the message that you're hearing today, or that you're listening to my stuff, if you're getting divorced, or you're separated, or you lost your job, or you're not well, or all these different things that bump into us as guys, a lot of us were taught not to show our emotion. We were taught, don't look weak, don't cry. And so it doesn't matter. Society kind of looks at us and goes, hey, you know what? Cowboy up, man up. It doesn't matter how much pain it is. It doesn't matter how hurt you are. It doesn't matter how much you struggle with. We don't care. Just suck it up and do and be what you're supposed to be for us. And so we push it down, or we put it in a box, those emotions, and it's hurting us, and it's making us sick, and it's giving us vices and addictions because we don't know how to deal with. So I teach the 7 levels of emotional intelligence for men. I teach tools and strategies. And if you're a man that needs that, or you're somebody that knows a man that needs that, please connect them to this. And you can connect us and we're excited to have you find us on Apple TV and Google TV and Spotify. And right at the moment, we're live on YouTube and Facebook and InspiredChoicesNetwork.tv. You can watch me right now live. So get on and watch, get on and share it. And obviously on our free app, anywhere you have your app store. If you go and put Inspired Choices Network in, it's a free app to download. You can find all the hosts, not just me and my happy beard, but all the hosts. And there's some amazing hosts on this network. Amazing hosts on this network, great information. So plug into that. But if you're listening and you need it, you need help, great, reach out. Please reach out. And if you're in a good place, a lot of times we think about trying to help ourselves. We go, oh, when I need it, I'll plug into that. A lot of times we don't do that because loading up our toolbox and our tool belt with the tools we need to be able to deal with the regular emotions we all feel every day is something that needs to be done when we don't think we need it. When we're in a good place. Why? Because when we're in a good place, when we're in a bad place, it's very difficult to find. It's like buying insurance. You have to buy insurance when you're healthy, because when you're not healthy, you don't qualify anymore, right? So you have to get it when you're healthy. So right then, the same thing with this. You've got to put the tools in your toolbox, and not just one, as many as you can. Fill it up with tools to be able to deal with it. Why? Because one might not work, 3 might not work, 5 might not work. It may take more than 10 different strategies or tools to get yourself out of a funk or to be able to deal with whatever it is. And if you only have 1 or 2 ways to do that, especially if they're vices, alcohol, drugs, gambling, porn, whatever it is, if that's the only thing you got to rely on, you're hooped. So you need to give yourself the chance, and not just for yourself. I've talked to people this week that had that they've got family members going through stuff, guys and their sons and uncles and dads. And what if I can raise my EQ and give myself some tools and some strategies to deal with stuff, then I can help other people as well as myself. I can teach other people to do it. And I need that to happen. We need that as a society to happen. We need to be able to learn how to do this. So, you know what? Like this, love it, share it, subscribe. It's free subscription. Subscribe. That helps our algorithm. First day with the new tongue. That helps our algorithms, and it helps pay for the show. So thank you for that. But like, love, share, engage. Don't just think about it. Oh, I got to read. No. Reach out, engage. We talked about that last week. And if you didn't hear last week's episode, go back and watch that because it was really good. But it talked about getting, making sure we actually execute on what the good intention is. Have the good intention, but then do something about it. Don't just let it sit. Sorry, I need to clear my throat. All right, let's get into it. Mental awareness is for everybody without exception, no exceptions. So we want to talk just real quick. They say statistically 1 in 5 people deal with some kind of mental awareness. And you've heard me say, I call it mental awareness that incorporates mental health, mental illness, but there's so many things in our mind that have nothing to do with mental illness or the health of our brain that need to be included into that space. So it's mental awareness for me, but it's not 1 in 5 deal with some mental awareness piece. It's 5 in 5. Let's be real. We all have emotions, and on purpose. We were given emotions on purpose. They have benefit. They're there for a reason. It's 5 in 5. It's not 1 in 5. It's not exclusive, them and me. They're messed up or they have challenges, but I'm okay. That's not the case. It's not, it doesn't have to be the heavy duty stuff, the schizophrenia and depression and all that stuff. And we're going to talk about that in another segment today. But it doesn't have to be that heavy stuff. Maybe it's a little bit of light stress and anxiety because of work or the kids or finances or whatever. But if I don't deal with those light things in a positive way, I am going to end up on the other end of that spectrum. I am going to end up in the heavy stuff. So explain spectrum in terms of mental awareness. That's spectrum. We're all inclusive. We all deal with mental awareness. We all deal with that. It's not them and me. It's not exclusive. It's inclusive. We all have emotions. We all deal with emotional stuff. Every day we do. All of us do. But the amount and the level of our EQ, our emotional quotient, the higher the level of our EQ, the better we deal with those emotional pieces. The better we deal with the ability to be able to stimulus, pause, respond. We can't pause if we don't have EQ. With low EQ, we can't pause. An animal doesn't have EQ or SQ for that matter. They have IQ for sure, right? They've got some smarts. Some of them levels are higher or lower, but they all have that IQ. But they don't have none EQ. Humans were gifted EQ. And a lot of times what we do is complain that the result isn't what we want it to be, but we didn't do the work. We're not willing to do the work because it's hard. I'm challenging you today, do the work. And then the other piece I want to talk about just real quick is the word stigma. Take it out of your vocabulary. It's not stigma. Stigma is, I vehemently dislike that word. Stigma is a sanitized, civilized word that we use so that we don't have to admit what we're actually doing. And my buddies go, okay, Gord, so what are we really doing? And I'm like, well, we're being judgmental pricks. That's what we're doing. We're being massively judgmental. That's what we're doing. Take the word stigma out of anywhere you find it. Put the word judgment in. Way more accurate, way more honest. And it allows us the benefit of being in our face and honest with the way we're acting and showing up. We got to stop the stigma. I'm a suicide survivor. Stop the stigma about suicide. No, stop being judgmental about people that have either tried or had that happen, if or succeeded at it. We have to understand. We need IQ to understand it, but we need EQ to be able to feel that and have sympathy and empathy. We can't understand it if we keep judging. Because we don't understand it, we push back. Things that scare us, we push back, right? That's just human nature. It scares me. I got to put it in a box. And I don't want to address it because it scares me because I don't understand it. We don't do it with physical pain. If somebody breaks their leg or breaks their arm or whatever, we don't look at them and judge them and shun them and push them off and judge them because they broke their arm or their leg. For some reason, we do with mental awareness challenge. How come? Why do we judge that? It's because we don't understand it. It's because we're not sure what it's going to do for us or to us. Is that person going to attack me? Are they going to hurt me in some way? Is there going to be a challenge? Well, no. And you know what? Could there be? For sure there could be. For sure there could be. But are there healthy people? Regular people that don't have mental awareness challenges that treat you like shit on a day? Or that blow up in front of you or that hurt you by what they say or what they do? I don't know. In my life, that happens. So to look at it and go, whoa, I don't know what. We have to be able to open our mind and work on their emotion, work on that, put the actual effort in it that it takes so that we can pause. I've said this before, the only things we can control are what we think and what we do. That's the only control out of the outside of that is an illusion. We can't. There's no such thing as control outside of ourself. And then we abdicate that power. Oh, I can't, it is what it is. I can't change it. That's crap. And we abdicate and then we go, hey, I don't like what the results are. I don't like where my life is. I don't like what's going on. I don't like what's happening in my life. I don't like what's being attracted into my life. Well, if you're a negative lack type person that doesn't do spends no time reading, spends no time journaling, spends no time doing personal development of any kind, and statistically less than 3% of the population does, but they want to complain because they're not getting the result in their life. Come on, let's grow up. Let's be real. Let's take ownership for our own shit. Can we do that? Can you do that? I know I try to do that. I'm not 100% successful. Ask my wife and kids, they'll tell you. But I try. The effort is there. The intention is there. And so that there's a conscious thought that says, hey, you know what? I got to get this done. I need to take a quick break. I got my special mug here. Thank you to my friend for that with my tea, lemon tea today. But I want to take a quick second to do a quick shout out for Jose Escobar. He's the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf, one of my founding sponsor partners. Check out the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf to learn more about the morning and evening routine mastery program that's changing people's lives. And that's not hyperbole. It absolutely is. This program will help you install systems in the bookends of your day to maximize your morning and evening routine. Set up your free strategy session with Jose Escobar today. And you can reach him at theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. That's theentrepreneur'sbookshelf.com, and that's Jose Escobar. Please reach out to him. Incredible guy, very generous human being. Will absolutely look after you. That's an incredible program, by the way. If you don't have some kind of routine at beginning and end, you're not maximizing. You're not getting the most you can out of your day. As we go to a break here, I'm gonna have some lemon tea, and but don't forget to pause and breathe. Pause and breathe. That will help ground you. It'll help percolate what you're hearing and allow you to process what you're hearing. It'll help focus you. So pause and breathe as we go to a break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have a really cool thing when we come back. You're with the long bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. See you in a minute. Don't go anywhere.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the long-bearded guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Long-bearded guy on Inspired Choices Network, Gordon D. Melville. That would be me. All right. We're talking today that about mental awareness is for everyone without exceptions. It's for all of us. It's not just for some of us. It's not just for a couple of us. It's not just for the ladies. It's not just for the men. It's for everybody. It's for all of us. And we're all on that spectrum. We talked about that in the last segment. We're all on that spectrum. There's nobody that's not on that spectrum. On an EQ spectrum. We're all on that. So I wanted to do something, just a quick little different thing here, and give you a visual of what I'm talking about. So where am I here? I'll grab a mug. We're going to put this right here. Set that there. I'm going to put something in the way to make sure it stays up there. I'm hoping you can see that. So mental awareness spectrum, from healthy in the green to red where it's not so healthy anymore. So healthy stress, there's stuff that's regular things that are going to happen. You can't grow without some of that stress, right? When you go to the gym, you're stressing the muscle, that you're tearing it down so that it can build itself back up. So same thing with your mental awareness, with your mental health. So there's healthy stress. So what you're doing to be able to deal with that, self-care and social support are things that you're doing or that we can do on a day-to-day basis. Self-care will help with our mental awareness. Self-care will help keep us in a positive place. It'll keep us grounded. It'll keep us dialed in. It'll keep us looking after ourselves. And we need to do that first so that we can show up the way we're supposed to for the people around us. But then we start to struggle, right? As it goes down, as our either our EQ goes down or we allow those things to start to happen around us. And some people can choose that. I want to make sure I acknowledge there are mental awareness challenges, medical things that make it difficult to choose. And I'm thinking things like bipolar, borderline personality disorder, schizophrenia. There are mental awareness challenges that we struggle with, that they struggle to make the choice because it's less of a choice for them. It still can be, but not the same way. So I want to make that distinction. But for when I say regular, I mean people that for the general population as a whole, when we start to struggle, you can try and get community support. I know I was talking to somebody this past week at Mo Mondays that was trying to get help for his son, and there was a 6-month waiting list, which we have to do a better job. We really do, of supporting these people. No, there are 800 lines, that kind of thing, which I'm sure they serve a purpose, and I'm sure they're there to be able to help. But at the end of the day, we need to be able to plug into what we need faster, is the point, right? If somebody's feeling depressed and deeply depressed and suicidal today, an appointment 6 months from now probably is not going to be helpful. And it's going to be frustrating because then that just reinforces, hey, you know what? Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Nobody's got my back. And as that continues to go down, you struggle. I can't get help. I can't get community. I don't have the tools. So then what happens? We end up in crisis. We end up in deep depression. We end up suicidal. We end up with those thoughts going through our head. And some people will absolutely do something with that. Some people will attempt. But when we get into crisis, then we're talking emergency service, right? We're talking whether it's calling an ambulance, calling a psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, whatnot. We get into a space where now it's a crisis situation, right? I have this challenge with my eyes, part of an autoimmune thing, that if I don't have enough rapid eye movement in my sleep, my eyelid dries onto my eyeball. And then when you involuntarily wake up, when you wake up, you involuntarily move your eyes. They just shift on their own. Even if they're not open, they move. Well, as soon as it moves, it tears it off. So it leaves epithelial either on my eyeball or it lifts the cornea, which has happened a bunch of times. But when I go to see the eye surgeon, the ophthalmologist, or the optometrist for that team of people looking after my eyes, I can't open them. When that first happens, I can't open them. And so I go to the surgeon. She puts some freezing in them. She opens it up. She debrides it, which is a story I won't get into because it's horrendous. And then she puts a contact patch on my eyeball. But once it takes about a week to heal. Once it's healed, then she says to me, Gord, we need to have a regular appointment when your eye is not in crisis, when your eye is not in trauma, so that we can get a baseline and see how your eyes, the health of your eyes, at a regular time without any of the issues. Same thing here. Same thing with our EQ. We need to be able to put the tools in our tool belt when we're not in crisis, because when we are in crisis, the solutions are very difficult to find. Because we're dealing with whatever the challenge is, we're dealing with whatever the crisis is. And a lot of times it's looming so big right in front of us that consumes everything. We can't see anything past that. Not good, not bad, not resources, not help, not anything. We don't see anything, not a way through even. So we need to be able to put the tools in the toolbox ahead of time. And then as a illustration, where are you on that spectrum? So again, on the green side, no diagnosable mental illness, but we do have a little bit of light stress, anxiety, and mild depression. Those are regular things that we all feel, regular emotions we all feel every day, every few days, whatever. The point is, light stress, anxiety, and mild depression is no diagnosable because there isn't anything there. That's regular life. That's when we need to put the tools in the toolbox. When we have no diagnosable mental awareness challenge. Why? Because that's when we will have the perspective and the objectivity to be able to actually put them in. We're not dealing with the other stuff. We're not dealing with the I trauma. We're not dealing with the trauma or the crisis at the time, which leaves us available to be able to receive and get that information. But on the other end of that spectrum, again, on the red side, severe mental awareness, deep depression, suicide, PTSD, schizophrenia, and addictive behaviors are all on the severe mental awareness side. And it's not helpful, but that's the extreme end of that side of the spectrum. So my question for you today is, where are you on that spectrum? Because we're all on that spectrum. Everybody's on that spectrum. You may not be here, you may not be there, but you're somewhere on that on that line somewhere. Have you stopped to take a look? Do you know where you are? Do you know what part of that? Do you have the tools? Do you have the equipment? Do you have the strategies to be able to get through? Most people do not. Most people don't pay attention to it. And guys certainly don't. If I walk up to a bunch of guys and go, hey, let's talk about your emotions. How are you feeling? I get laughed right out of the space. Right? They're like, Gord, get away from us. What the hell? We don't want to talk to you. Go away. Why? Because we've been taught not to deal with it. We feel that it's weak. We feel it's weak to share with, especially with each other, in terms of guy to guy. Oh, I got to be macho. Well, you know what? We can be macho all we want. We can have lots of testosterone and still be engaged with our EQ. And we need to be engaged and plugged into our EQ. We need to be able to reach out to another guy. I had a friend reach out this week. Gord, do you have a minute to talk? We talked for almost 2 hours. Why? He needed to talk. We need to be there for each other, but we also need the tools to be able to deal with stuff on our own as initial steps before we reach out to somebody else. But we need to be there for each other. And I said to him, thank you so much for reaching out. I'm proud of you for reaching out. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. I'm going to say that again. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Strength, not weakness. It's not weak to say, hey, I need help. And you've heard me say that before. It's okay not to be okay. It's just not okay to stay there. We need to be able to know we're safe, not judged, and be able to reach out to somebody and to another guy. That be able to help. But again, if I'm reaching out to another guy who doesn't have any EQ, that's going to make it difficult. It's going to be hard. And they're going to want to help. But if I reach out to another guy and they're having a hard day, or they're not trained how to deal with mental awareness, then we're interdependent. They're going to say yes. Hey, they may not even tell me they're struggling. What I'm struggling, but yeah, go ahead, reach out. We want to be able to help each other, so we're going to say yes, and it's just going to make it even harder for ourselves. Unless we put the tools in our toolbox. I can't stress it enough. I have programs coming. If you need to put, and as soon as somebody says, well, I that's critical, we need to do that. But I'm okay, but I know a bunch of people that need that. I'll pass that along. I'm like, bullshit. We all need, nobody has the market cornered on all of the tools and strategies to be able to deal with that, with our mental awareness. Nobody does. Nobody does. That means everybody needs to add some tools. Everybody needs to keep it top of mind. That means everybody needs to be in my workshop. And I'm only taking the first 12 guys that reach out to me. I'm only going to take the first 12 for this cohort. We'll do it again, but it's a 4-month cohort. 90 minutes every other week. If you need something, or you know somebody that needs that, if you're a woman listening and you go, you know what, my husband needs that, my kids need that, my sons need it, my uncle, my brothers, connect them to me. Connect them to me. Ask me for the information about that. Ask me for the details. We got to be able to do this, folks. Come on. Work with me, work with me, work with yourself. I'm feeling a Jerry Maguire moment. Help me, help you. Help me, help them. I got to take another break. Yeah. I'm hoping it makes sense. Another shout out to Jose Escobar. Check out the Connected Leaders Academy. It's a membership that will take your business to the next level. This is the perfect tribe to learn, grow, and connect like never before. The Connected Leaders Academy tribe brings together some of the highest level entrepreneurs from all over the world. Set up a virtual coffee with Jose Escobar today. And you can reach him at theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. That's theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. If you're an entrepreneur with a history of success and you need to plug in or want to plug into a global community, 17 or 18 countries around the world. I think we're in 40 or 50, well, it's probably 40, just over 40 states in the US. But you want to be surrounded by amazing human beings, you reach out to Jose. If you need to have support, reach out to Jose. They say you become the average, not the top end, the average of the 5 people you spend your time with in every way, financially, success way, socially, every way. When I found that out originally years ago, I was like, crap, I need to change some of the people I hang out with. You want to raise your vibration? You want to become a millionaire? If you hang out with 4 millionaires and you're the 5th person in that group and you're hanging out with millionaires, you will absolutely become a millionaire. So surround yourself, and it's not about the money. It's not always about the money. Now that keeps the kids engaged and makes the world go. But obviously a lot of us are looking to have impact and significance. Well, that comes when we pour into other people's lives. Reach out to Jose. Incredible group. When we come back, we're going to talk about 3 questions to identify struggle and gauge the severity of a situation for ourselves and for other people. So don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. Don't forget to pause and breathe. Have your tea.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
The Connected Leaders Academy is the #1 fastest growing networking community for entrepreneurs. CLA assembles high-level leaders, titans of industry, and business owners under one roof. If you're an entrepreneur looking to grow personally, professionally, scale your influence, develop skills, and expand your network exponentially, the CLA is where you need to be. Want on to more podcasts and shows, speak on more stages, sell more books, products, and services, get more leads, referrals, acquire new clients, develop lifelong friendships, and more. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. Contact Jose Escobar on Facebook or check out www.claglobalsummit.com for more information.
This is the long-bearded guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey everybody, welcome back. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville on Inspired Choices Network. And today we're talking about mental awareness is for everyone without exception. We're all on that spectrum. We're all on that mental awareness spectrum. And we talked about it's not 1 in 5. That's the statistics say 1 in 5 deal with some kind of a mental awareness challenge. 5 out of 5 deal with a mental awareness challenges. We all deal with it. that's an exclusive type stat, and it should be an inclusive type stat. Everybody deals with it. We talked about spectrum. We talked about stigma, why we need to take that out of our vocabulary and just be honest about what it is. It's judgment. Stop judging people. We talked about on the whiteboard to give us a visual about where things are at and what that spectrum looks like. And, you know, things that we're talking about that on healthy stress side, self-care and social programs, and then on the support. And then on the other end, when we're in crisis, emergency services and that kind of thing. We want to talk. I've got 3 quick questions for you that we can ask ourselves, or that we can ask somebody else that we care about or that we're trying to help. How to identify they're struggling, because lots of times they won't say. It's getting better, but it's nowhere near where it needs to be. The fact that we have a suicide rate as high as we do says it's absolutely not where it belongs. So there are way too many tells, right? There's way too many ways to gauge. There's lots of different things that could be red flags. There's lots of different things that, because it's different for everybody, right? There are certain things will trigger me a certain way that may not trigger you, and vice versa, right? There's things I struggle with, you may not struggle with, and vice versa. So there's lots and lots and lots of things that people will show and act and behave and do and say or not say to gauge. But I want to give you 3 quick questions so that you can at least, it gives you a place to start with some basic stuff. You want to write these down. If you're not writing some of this stuff down, you're not going to remember. You're going to want to, but you're just not going to do it. Our brain can't handle that. It won't remember it. We'll want to, we just won't be able to. And we write it down and then go back and read your note later. I talk to people all the time that go, well, I journal, but I don't go back and read it ever. I'm like, why wouldn't you go back and read it? You got to be able to go back and look at it again and go, hey, oh yeah, right. I forget. There's so much in my journals. There's so much in there. You forget what you put in. So then you go back and, oh yeah, right. I meant to do that. Or I meant to talk to that person. I meant to do that activity or reach out to that support piece or support group or support. That's a tool and strategy that I need to implement. Oh yeah, right. I forgot about that one. Life happens, and it's okay, but we need to go back and read. So first question: Are the persistent thoughts, feelings, and behaviors intense? I'll say it again, or I'll ask it again. Are the persistent thoughts, feelings, and behaviors intense? So sometimes we have thoughts, feelings, behaviors that are on the healthy stress end, right? They're there, but they're not intense. They're not deep. You're feeling it really, really intensely. That's a flag. That's a way to gauge if it's really intense for you. If you're watching somebody else and they're really intense. Their behaviors are really intense. They seem to be thinking deeply, really deep. And there's healthy deep, and then there's unhealthy deep. It's the feelings people lashing out, right? Because they're frustrated, but really intense, like way out of the norm for themselves. Way out of the norm. So the first question is, are the persistent thoughts, so again, persistent, right? The two words in that sentence, in that question, that are where the linchpins are persistent and intense. Are the persistent thoughts, feelings, and behavior intense? If they're not persistent or they're not intense, then it's probably not a red flag. It could be the healthy side, right? Are the persistent thoughts, feelings, and behaviors intense? So that's the first question. Second question. Again, you need to write this stuff down. If you're not writing it down, you're not going to remember. Are they long lasting? Are the persistent thoughts, feelings, and behaviors intense and long lasting? So they could be persistent and intense, but only last for part of a day or for a few hours, maybe a couple of days. Are they long lasting? Is it lasting a week? Is it lasting a month? Is it lasting several months? that where it's persistent, intense for a long period of time, for a longer period of time. So are they long lasting? Will be a red flag. Hey, you know what? They've been like this for 2 months. I got to find a way to help them. I need to reach out to them. I got to find a way. And then do something with that. Don't just let it go. These are 3 questions to identify a struggle and to gauge severity of where their EQ is sitting. How badly are they struggling? Are they even struggling? Because again, if it's not persistent and it's not intense and it doesn't last very long, that's regular healthy stress, regular healthy anxiety. That those things are normal things we all feel. So number 2, are they long lasting? If Sarah, if you can write these into the chat so people will, you got the first one, but are they long lasting is question number 2. And then number 3, by the way, you want to save the chat. If you're here, save the chat. So you got some of the stuff there. Number 3, the third question is, are they having a big impact? Negative consequences, maybe even interfering with someone's ability to focus or function. So are the persistent thoughts, feelings, and behaviors intense? Are they long lasting? And are they having a big impact in their own life and in the lives of people around them? Negative consequences, maybe even interfering with somebody's ability to focus or function. Sometimes it gets so deep and so intense and so persistent and lasts so long, we can't even function. We can't go to work. We can't be the person we need to be for our families. We can't be who we're supposed to be for thank you, Sarah, for the people around us, even for ourselves. We again, if sometimes that big impact, because it lasts so long, and I think we've all had that at certain times, right? We've all had persistent, intense feelings that last for a while and that we struggle with to get rid of. We struggle with to pull ourselves out of. So number 1, are the persistent thoughts, feelings, and behaviors intense? Number 2, are they long lasting? And number 3, are they having a big impact? Because negative consequences, maybe even interfering with someone's ability to focus or function. Those are 3 fairly straightforward questions that you can ask yourself. Is this what's happening to me? I don't know. Maybe it is. But then you gauge, is this what's happening for your kids? Is it what's happening for your friends? Do you know a guy that it seems to be struggling and has been for several months or for 6 months or for something major happened in their life that throws them into a tailspin? Somebody loses a job, they lose a parent, they lose a spouse, they lose a death of a child or somebody close to them. Those are traumatic things that will send people into a tailspin. That'll send people into a space where it's persistent, intense, long lasting, and having a huge impact on them where they can't function. If you know people like that, please connect me to them. Please connect me to them. I am a champion mindset mentor. What does that mean? High performance is great. And we want high performance. That's wonderful. But there's a step above high performance, and it's champion. All the elite athletes that are drafted into pro sports, they're all elite athletes. They're all high performance people. But they're not all champion people. They haven't all won. How come? What's the difference between high performance and champion? Reach out to me. I have one-on-one workshops. I've got, one-on-one mentorships. I've got group programs that are a little bit less expensive. Some cases, the one that's coming is a lot less expensive. If you're wanting to plug in, but you're not sure how, reach out to me. thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com is the easiest way to get a hold of me. I've got a cohort coming in the next, within the next week. That again, only the first 12 guys that reach out are going to get into that class. And I know I want to say it's half full. So there's only a few seats left in that class. Reach out. If you know somebody, connect me to them. If you're the somebody, great, reach out. And I'm admonishing all of it. We all need to do it. We all need to put the tools in our toolbox. We all need to know more strategies and have more tools to help ourselves and then to be able to help other people. I've got a book launching on Sunday, which is very exciting, on marriage. That comes out on Sunday. I'll put links on my page, but you can buy ebook copies of it. If you reach out to me personally, I can get you an autographed. I can send you an autographed copy of that. You can buy copies. So there's lots of things happening. I'm speaking multiple times on other people's podcasts. Obviously, I'm doing my own podcast, my own live TV show and radio show, but I'm all over the place. So if there's some way you need to plug in, please reach out. If you know people that need to reach to plug in, connect me to them. And if you want to be you want to be able to help somehow, gender doesn't matter to me. I don't care, because everybody either is a man or knows a man. So you know what, we can all be a part of that. And so there are sponsorships I'm looking for right now, sponsorship partners to help me get the message out. If you know of anybody like that, you're that person, please reach out to me, thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. And I'm still trying to get a beard sponsor, which I think should be a no-brainer for that. We're on 450 platforms globally. That's good exposure. And guys with beards, and not to cut the bearded women on the planet out of the equation, they're more than welcome to use the products too. But my avatar are men. Lots of them have beards, so I personally, I think it's a no-brainer. If you know a beard company or have contact into somebody like that, please reach out or connect me to them. thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. And I would really appreciate that. We have to take another quick break. Time goes so quick. And in life in general, not just on my show. It seems like just, I don't know, 7 days ago we were doing this. It just goes really quick. My parents told me, Gord, life's going to continue to speed up, and I didn't believe them. I should have believed them. It goes faster and faster and faster. Anyway, take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to do a quick call to action when we come back and wrap up. You're with the Long Bearded Guy on Inspired, Gordon D. Melville on Inspired Choices Network. Don't forget to pause and breathe. Enjoy your tea. See you in a minute.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the Long-Bearded Guy, Gordon D. Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Long-Bearded Guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for being with me today. We are talking about mental awareness is for everyone without exceptions. We're all in that same boat. We're all on that spectrum. We're all feeling that one way or the other. We're all feeling that. We all deal with it. Men and women, everybody, we all deal with it. Everybody deals with it. So it's not 1 in 5, it's 5 in 5, right? All of us deal with it. Stop using the word stigma. Not part of the deal. Call it what it is. It's judgment. We talked what the spectrum looks like. Whoop. Good to bad and good to less than good, right? Critical on this side. How that spectrum works. We asked 3 quick questions, right? Are the persistent thoughts, feelings, and behaviors intense? Are they long lasting? And are they having a big impact? Negative consequences may even interfering with someone's ability to focus or function. Are 3 good questions to ask. Now, call to action. How do you answer those questions for yourself? If you take your EQ temperature right at the moment, take a quick stop and go, hey, you know what? Wait a second. Where am I on that spectrum today? Where are the people around me, people that are close to me, my family, my friends? Where are they on that spectrum today? Is there somebody that's on that end of the spectrum or closer to that end of the spectrum that you need to reach out to? Find a pal, be a pal. Find somebody you can, whether it's an accountability partner, whether it's somebody that you can reach out to. And for guys, you need to be able to reach out to somebody, find somebody that you know loves you, cares about you, has your best interest at heart, will not judge you, to talk. Find a pal, but then be a pal. Make sure that you're there for somebody else. Okay. And then you can send that to me. If you find that, let me know. Hey, I found a partner. You don't have to tell me all the details of it all. Hey, I found somebody and I'm being a pal and a buddy to somebody else. We need that camaraderie. We really do. Okay. So next Friday, that's July 28th, same time, same place, same happy beard. The title and the segment next week is called Blessed to Have Choices, Courage Enough to Make Them. Blessed to have the choices, but are you courageous enough to make the choice, to do something about it? Some people can, some people can't. Lots of people don't. Lots of people abdicate the power. You have the power. Check in with us next week. Invite your friends, share the link, share, like, love, subscribe, send the Inspired Choices Network, send my link out, send the network's link out, plug in. The engagement, that's where this rubber hits the road. I can talk until I'm blue in the face and I can share from the bottom of my heart, which I do every week. Passionately every week. But if you don't do anything with the information, it doesn't matter. You might as well not have listened. And I know you're smarter than that. I believe in you. I know it's impactful and it's changing people's lives. It is. For the better. It's making an impact for the better. It was over and over and over this week that's come up. And that's humbling, but it tells me, hey, you know what? There's such a lot to do. There's so much still to get done. So again, either plug in and reach out for support. If there's something that you need, please ask questions. If you have questions, thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Reach out. If you have comments, if you agree, if you disagree, tell me, Gord, you're full of poops, buddy. That's okay. I can handle it. I want that dialogue. I want it. I mean, obviously I like good stuff too, but I want that dialogue, that engagement where it's touching a nerve. And I know it is because people do reach out. Keep doing that. If you can help me in some way, get the message out, please do that. Please do that. This is a huge passion for me. It really is. And I hope you feel that. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox for this week. Make it another great week. Make it. You have the power to do that. I love you. Massive hugs. If you haven't heard it today, I love you. Live abundantly this week and with intention. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Inspired Choices Network. Choose it. Choose it.
Thank you for tuning into the Long Bearded Guy Show. You are appreciated and loved. Gordon D. Melville returns Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on the InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, make it another great week, leading with love, powerfully designing, crafting, and living out your positively impactful legacy life you were created for. Big hugs.